I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Dara. Tell everyone what happened.
No, you know it.
No, you tell them.
So, yeah. The funny thing is that we're actually making fun of the technical difficulties that we're having when we actually started the podcast. But unbeknownst to you guys, this is the second time we're starting this podcast.
Yeah, we just lost 30
Nick
minutes.
just, didn't in one of the capture scenes did not have his audio device included.
Yeah, so
Every time that he was switching scenes, it was
earlier
going.
in the week, my microphone got all janked up, and I had to reset my scenes. And I guess I didn't reset them all for the podcast. I just set them up for my my stream. So Dara's probably pretty mad at me right now. I'm gonna try to go through this one more time.
35 minutes
Yeah.
of just genuinely.
It was pretty good.
It was really good. You know what? You might as well just cut my parts into.
Yeah. You just don't talk, and I'll just try to like go back and put it in. Anyway, this is What You Playin, a a podcast between two failed YouTuber best friends who've never met in real life who just want to talk about games and the news in games. I am Nick from He's Bad Games. This is Dara from Ink Eyes. Both can be found on YouTube. And I guess I'm gonna do the housekeeping again. Got a new camera coming in. I don't know if you can see, but I'm having trouble with my camera. Got a new streaming PC coming in, built for $400, and those will, I'll be doing some streaming later. And what else was there? There was one more thing. I can't remember.
Wait, you're streaming recently?
Yes, I have been.
What are you streaming?
I was just streaming Apex to test this week. I had a lot of problems with it, so I decided to build a budget streaming computer so I can do a two PC stream. We don't have to rush through it. We don't have to rush through it.
We have to recreate our podcast. We don't have to go through the 30 minutes.
It's amazing how much you can remember of what you said exactly. What else is there? We have art coming for this podcast. Should have it next week. And also, you can find the podcast now on Spotify if you just search for Whatcha Playin with no apostrophes. And I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And we also further apologize about the audio quality from last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We both messed up a little bit, and it happens to be audio problem again.
Yep. Last week I was talking into the ass end of my microphone because my microphone mount broke a while ago and I had to install a new one. I installed it backwards. I'm now speaking into the proper side. You can tell them why you're stupid now.
I plugged in my webcam to have this face capture here, and that switched my default microphone from the Yeti to the webcam. So that was just like a prop microphone in front of me in the last episode. Didn't mean anything.
And that's why we sounded like buttholes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Muffled and not good.
And
then now we're here.
Oh God, I think we just went through like 5 minutes in 3 minutes there.
Even less.
Yeah. So this is probably going to be more of a truncated episode, seeing as how we've already gone through all of this. But let's see.
We got like one of those Men in Black flashers.
Oh yes,
just stare into my webcam.
The brainolator. All right, we got four stories this week. Assassin's Creed Valhalla seems to be smaller than Odyssey, but not really, apparently. Bethesda put in an anti-cheat to single-player games that I find sketchy, and the games industry is being pretty cool about donating stuff for COVID, and also a sad story dealing with one of the actors from...
well, don't spoil too much.
Well,
we'll get to it once we get to the segments.
Yeah. All right.
So stay tuned.
I'm gonna reopen this Assassin's Creed thing. Hold on. I'm gonna switch scenes. And is my microphone is still bouncing. Okay, good. We're fine. I'm so sorry. All right, this story comes from Destructoid. This about it's a little old. It's from the 18th, and it's written by Brett Mecca. I said it wrong last time. Mekadonsky. Megadonsky, I don't know.
Sure.
And so basically, long story short on this is that
Megadonsky.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, there was a tweet that went out saying from Ubisoft saying that Valhalla was going to be a smaller and more focused game than Odyssey, and the internet got really annoyed because people are crazy. They never want you to take away, even if that means you're going to get more quality. And then they backpedaled and they were like, no, it's big. Trust me, girl, it's big. And and this was the.
It's not the same, Nick. Okay, it's not the second time. It's not the same.
I did not say that joke last time. I said it much different.
Yes.
So here's the quote that we got. I would actually say in terms of range, it's probably a bit larger than Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Leferrier says, who I assume is a developer over there. Julian, he's the producer of the game, Julian Leferrier. I do not have the exact figures at this stage, but we have not only created the whole country, which in this case is England, but also a good part of Norway too, and there are other secret worlds, which Dara does not believe yet is Asgard, but I believe it is Asgard, which I cannot speak about, which contributed to the size of the game. It's not a small game. It is a game which is clearly ambitious, which will offer many, many hours of gameplay for the players. And my question for you before was, do you care? Like, do you care about how big this world is, or what, or any open world?
I'm so salty and butthurt.
I know.
So much of the banter is
I
gone.
know. And I'm so mad about my webcam still being jacked up.
Well, I'm out of tea. I had a fresh cup of tea for a podcast.
I'm sorry, I can't pause the recording for tea.
I should have made. I know. Sorry, I don't even have water here.
I do have
By the
water.
end of it, I'm gonna be cotton mouth. But yeah, I'm of the opinion that at a certain point, it's big enough. It shouldn't really matter because because some of these worlds are already massive, and I sometimes struggle going through games like that all the way to the end, and I'm actually kind of disheartened by seeing if they have like a thing that shows your percent completion. I'm sometimes discouraged from playing more, because if I've had fun and if I've seen what it's about, and if you're playing a game where it's about character development or leveling up and things like that, like Skyrim, you get to a point that you're like really freaking powerful, and leveling up is going to be a pain in the ass. Like, it's going to take you 10 hours of playing more to even level up again for like one minor power or something like that.
Let's say that you've played for 50 hours, right? What percentage should you see? It says that you're complete. What do you think?
Oh man, that's a hard question, because it does depend on so many things.
Like, what would make you sad? If
here's the thing: 50 hours in something like Skyrim versus 50 hours in something like Monster Hunter, or 50 hours in something like Castlevania, totally different. But in an open world, like let's say it was like some GTA game or Red Dead Redemption, or even something like Elder Scrolls. 50 hours, I would like to see like 25 to 35% completion.
You think so? See, I thought you would have said more. 50 hours for me, I want to see like 45 to 50. I want like an hour per on percentage, if I'm really going for that.
It naturally goes down. Your percentage actually slows down, because then you're left with really obscure locations and things that you just missed.
Yeah.
So like those last few percentages are never gonna happen as quickly as your first few. So I don't mind fast progress in the beginning, and as long as you don't feel like the developer rushed anything, as long as the story is fully developed and characters, you feel attached to them and they're not rushed, I'm cool with that.
I'm like going through the open world games I've played in my head, and with the exception of Breath of the Wild, not counting getting all the stupid poop nuggets, what are they called? The Korok seeds, which turn out to be a giant poop. Do you know about that?
No, I don't.
So in the game, there are all these hidden collectibles called Korok seeds that you can use to upgrade your equipment and stuff. But at a certain point, it doesn't matter. And if you collect all 900 of them, it might be more than 900, but it's not 1,000. I know that. You give it to the guy that you traded into, and he gives you a trophy, and the trophy, huh?
That's it.
And then the trophy is literally a golden poop. And then you realize that the Korok seeds.
What a troll!
Yeah, and then you realize that the Korok seeds, the whole game, are just little nuggets of Korok scat.
What?
But anyway, what I was gonna say, besides Breath of the Wild, the Far Cry games I've played, I've never finished one. I never finished The Witcher.
No, me neither.
I probably still won't. I might finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I got to tell you, this week I've not been playing it.
Well, I have a random question. I was just thinking, have you ever finished a Dark Souls game?
Oh, fuck you. Yeah, I finished Sekiro.
Oh, so a Souls-like game.
Yes, I have finished
Or
Sekiro.
a software game.
Yes.
From software, I mean.
Yeah, I've played Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2. I have not beaten either one. I've only beaten Sekiro. I've never played Dark Souls or Demon Souls or Bloodborne. Never played Bloodborne.
Didn't play Bloodborne, didn't like the formula. But this might come as news to you, but I actually have played Dark Souls multiple times all the way through. And I think a game like that, like, it's still massive.
Yeah.
But
but it's like a contained kind of massive. Everything's there for a real reason.
Well, here's the thing, exactly. Like, it comes down to the quality of the world and the universe and all that they create. If there's enough variety, and if everything has soul and a feel, and it really captivates you and your imagination and draws you in, sure, if you can make a huge world that every part of it is like that, good for you. But more often than not, you end up with like some games that have areas that is like you know it was unfinished, you know it's bland, it's just like thrown in there for I don't even know.
Even some parts of Breath of the Wild kind of feel like that.
A massive desert, like who cares about a massive desert in a game if nothing is really going to be happening in it? It's just like, well, that's a big chunk of our map covered. We don't have to do anything about it. Just throw in some wind effects and rolling sand and stuff like that. Like, we're good. Like,
here's the move with the desert area. You have all that garbage on top, but you put like an underground connected cave system under there, and you deal with some cave dwelling people or something like that, and cave dwelling monsters. Then you can just pop out in certain parts of the desert.
Yeah, and make it look like it's completely empty and it wasn't for anything.
But there's a whole world under there.
Secret entrance, like you have to do a quest, and then
opens up. And maybe that's the reason why there is a desert there, because they're draining all the resources from the surface. So like underneath, there's like underground waterfalls and shit like that, and underground rivers.
Wait, hold on a second. Isn't that an idea you had for a game or a book or something?
No.
I thought it was.
No,
I feel like I'm having deja vu right now.
No. My terrible book starts on a water planet, but there's no desert there.
Oh, what were we talking about then? That you're like, yeah, like. Oh, I think it was from the first episode that we were talking about, just like
Prince of Persia.
Yeah, draining the water from the desert.
I don't remember that. I remember talking about doing parkour in Tehran. That's all I remember.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
So all right. So for me,
your way away from everyone who has COVID there.
For me on this subject, I don't care if it's bigger or smaller. I just want to be engaged in the time that I'm playing. That's what I'm saying. I don't care. I don't discriminate is what I'm trying to say here. To tell you the truth, honestly, I'd prefer it to be smaller. I prefer focused experiences that don't stretch me out is what I'm trying to say.
Nicely put.
That's why, like my favorite games of the last couple generations have been like The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
Marvel Spider-Man, God of War. Well, you know what? There has been some ridiculously large things that I loved, like Persona 5. I got real lost in the sauce on that game.
Yeah. Like I said, as long as the story is always engaging,
and that it was in that game, I'll tell you that.
Another thing we touched on the previous version of this podcast was traversing these massive worlds.
Oh shit! I forgot to hit record. I got you. I'm just kidding. I got you.
Yeah, right. Not even for a second.
All right, got.
But like, what do you guys prefer? Do you like fast travel mechanics, or do you actually like going, like, horseback riding through lands and deserts and plains for like 10 minutes and really getting a sense of the scale? And
so
I'm of the second camp. I love actually feeling how massive the world is and taking my time. I don't mind fast travel. I made a point that Dark Souls, at least the first one, didn't have that.
Yeah,
it was great experience. You weren't forced to backtrack a lot, so you did go through a lot of new areas. But if you did have to go back for something, it felt like a really cool revisit of that area because you're like, oh, you know what? I kind of remember how to fight these enemies. I kind of remember the shortcuts and where to go. No map, right? And you just
Yeah.
find your way. And
Some
sometimes you get lost.
I do remember people got pretty grumpy when they added fast travel to the Dark Souls series. I remember people complaining about that it like
Yes.
broke the immersion of the perfect like clockwork world that they, well, not clockwork, that's not the right word, but like the perfectly enclosed world where everything connects together and you just have to know the shortcuts to get from here to there or whatever. And
Yeah.
a lot of people felt like fast travel really
It felt
busted.
personal.
Yeah.
It was a great world. Like they did such a good job. But there are other games like Red Dead Redemption. I think eventually you're introduced to fast travel,
Yeah,
maybe,
you do get fast travel in Red Dead,
but
yeah.
not in the very beginning. I think you have the option, obviously.
I think
Uh,
I can't remember exactly, but I think you still need to like get to a train station, right? And then
I
you
think
can,
yeah, there's a
or
gimmick.
there's also like stage coaches that you can hire.
Stagecoaches,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. And they show you like a little cutscene before like it actually
yeah.
reaches the
Well,
station.
that's the funny thing
Um,
about the stagecoach too. I think you could just sit there and watch it happen, right?
so the whole way,
Or you could skip it. Yeah,
it'll have like camera sequences just like
yeah, yeah.
following you through the paths.
Dude, I love
Shadow of
that
the
game.
Colossus,
I don't know why so many people shit on that game.
the first one or the second
The
one?
second one, a lot of people shit on the second one
Why?
because it's too slow.
What?
But then again, I'm a guy who played, what the Norman Reedus game and loved it. Death Stranding. I played the shit out of Death Stranding and loved it, and that's like
Mhm.
one of the slowest games of all time.
I was gonna mention another game with a massive world you just have to go through, which felt really cool, was Shadow of the Colossus, if you remember.
But that
Uh,
is laser focused. Like most of the world there is no point for the most part to explore a lot of the world.
it's just for you to get the sense of going, just like hyping up that boss fight,
Yeah.
and you going for, actually for in a lot of those levels, you actually had to find your way, even with the mechanic that he had, where I think it was shining
Yeah, you hold the sword
your
up to the
up,
sun.
and the sun reflection,
Yeah.
like the rays showed where you had to go, but that wasn't like all you like. That didn't help you the whole way through. You actually had to find your way sometimes
Yeah.
around
Well,
water.
there'd be some sections where there would be no sun, and so the sword couldn't absorb the sun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only things that were like that you would explore for were the special fruits and the lizards that would increase your health and stamina.
Yeah.
That's like the only other thing to search for in that game, really.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're right. It was just
Barren.
dead space,
Yeah.
and nothing was happening. No, like you didn't magically come across like an NPC that offered you any sort of cool
Yeah.
thing or a bit of story.
I guess spoilers for Shadow of the Colossus if you haven't played it. Um,
How old is that game?
I know, but still, like there are people who
Well,
it is like one of the most classics ever. So like, if you don't want to, just come back in 1 minute. I love at the end of that game that you're the bad guy. Like
I never beat it.
Oh,
But I
spoilers!
think,
Spoilers to you,
no. But
good sir.
I think I know. Like I think I specifically went and watched like the final cutscene because I think you end up, um,
You kill all the colossi.
and then you end up doing more harm than good.
Well, you
were
become
trying
like
to
a horrible shadow beast.
I'm trying to like not spoil it. I'm trying
Okay.
to go around
Okay.
about
All right. Well, I'm done. I'm done talking about it. It's a great game. Everyone should play that game.
Yes, it's wonderful.
All right. Let's.
But anyway,
It's exactly 19 minutes. This is where we were when we were going to the next story, and I think we should.
Hold on, we're not going.
Okay,
though.
all right. Fine.
To conclude it, I think companies and gamers should care about quality more than just
Quantity.
the size of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still put like jam pack it with more events and like cool stuff happening everywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone should feel, because we discussed how different companies, the sense of competition between them, like, oh, they made a game that was this big, as big as England, and we have to make a game that's as big as Italy, and
Yeah.
now the next game has to be even bigger. Like, nobody should think that way. Just as big, smaller, who cares? Just make a good game.
So
I want to enjoy it.
what you're
And I don't
saying.
want to feel lost and lose interest eventually because it's just too big. God.
So what you're saying is it's the motion in the ocean.
Motion in the ocean.
Okay. All right. Next story is from who? It's from PCGamer.com. Fraser Brown. This was reported Fraser Brown. I did that wrong twice. This was reported a few weeks ago, and this is a Bethesda story about how they implemented de novo anti-cheat in Doom Eternal in the first update, which is like you have to do it during the single-player campaign. And all right, before I talk about my conspiracy theories, what do you think about anti-cheats in single-player games?
100% unnecessary. In single player games, why? You're taking away from the fun.
Yeah.
Like I used to use cheat engines or cheat codes in old, like not recently, but when I was a kid, I think a lot of kids
You're not
that.
talking about built-in cheats though, right? You're talking about like your Game Gear equivalents and with software. Not Game Gear. What am I talking about? What was it called? Oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. Game Genie equivalents, like with software.
Wow, Game Genie.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe you remember that name.
Yeah. I'm old as shit.
Both styles, like the in-game codes. Like for example, Age of Empires had its own. You just open a console and type in. I really think it was one of the codes was Big Daddy or Daddy-O or something like that. I have to look this up. Age of Empires cheats Big Daddy.
Well, you're doing
Big Daddy. Yep.
Okay.
Where it basically created a car that shot lasers.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
And you had infinite money, you had insta build and stuff like that. And sometimes you just wanted to goof around and just have the ultimate fun of making an army that's like 1 million units, as much as your PC could handle back then before it crashed, and just annihilate your opponent, or play a game where you have infinite ammo, like say playing Doom, and you just go in your god mode. You don't die. Sometimes in some games you can't use certain weapons as much as you like them because you're afraid of dying or taking too much damage, so you always revert to another class of weapon.
Or you've got too good to use syndrome.
Or too good to use. Yeah. If you have a rocket launcher that has like 3 rockets, just forever going to be like, oh, when am I going to use this?
Yeah.
Well, just put on some cheats and then go blast everybody in the face with rockets. Like, what's wrong with that? You're not cheating anybody else out of having fun.
I was never much of a cheat person except for some of the built-in stuff like the GTA cheats, because GTA cheats, you can make your own game, where it's like, I think the thing that everyone did was like, infinite weapons and like
infinite ammo, and you just wanted to see how many like SWAT cars.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You don't go invincible. You go and see how long I can survive. How long can I fight how long can I fight the fuzz before they kill me?
Star Most Wanted, and just like standing on a street with like 50 cars that are just smoking, helicopters shot down, tanks coming after you. It feels good.
Yeah. That was always my favorite thing to do, cheat wise. But these guys, I mean, that was intended, of course,
But these guys, they wanted to not only do that and stop any sort of cheating like that, but they also wanted to shut down any and all mods.
Well, they're not saying that yet. This is my psyche bleeding into yours. I think that's what they want. I think that what they want is to close down modding so that they can open their own mod shops where they just have approved mods that they can sell for a price for another revenue stream. And like, I would give Bethesda the benefit of the doubt, but they're fucking Bethesda. Like, they're assholes. The 76 debacle that is still going on. Like, they just added NPCs to it, like a month ago or something like that. Do you know about this? Have you heard about this? Do you know about this?
I think I know what you're talking about.
So they have an online version of Fallout called Fallout 76, and
which everybody hated because.
Yeah, because
there's no like story really.
Yeah, basically, you would get all of your quests from like little holodeck tapes that would point you where you needed to go, and people were like, "This is boring." Like, if you're just using other humans as the way to fill out the world, like that's horrible. Like, other humans online are horrible. Like, why would you want that to be the way to fill out your world.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. So I mean, they finally added it recently.
Yeah,
Also,
nobody
there
likes
was
that.
really bad performance problems and stuff, but whatever. I'm just
Really?
from the original release. I think it's much better now.
What's it like? It looked like a clone of the last games. Like
Well,
it
yeah,
didn't
I mean it's basically asset swaps
UI,
of
complete asset swap. You're
yeah.
right.
But so I really think that this is a precursor to them opening another revenue stream, and that revenue stream is going to be a pre-approved mod shop.
But I think you're right. If they stop sort of like I think modding goes under the cheating umbrella.
Yeah.
I mean they're probably not going to allow any software that interacts or any or make changes to the code
Yeah.
in the game. And I think as soon as like something like that is detected, it just shuts it down. But in single player, come on.
And I was saying before that this reminded me a lot of EA's always on DRM that they introduced back in the day. And like I never played much many EA games, to tell you the truth, but I really wanted to play SimCity, and they owned it at the time that the new quote unquote new SimCity, I don't know, it was like 7 years ago or more, came out, and it had always on DRM, and its servers were terrible when it first started. So it was like, I can't get online to play my single player game to play SimCity, and it made me insane.
Yeah, and for a while that became a thing. Like a lot of companies were doing that, and you were lucky if it was a big and wealthy company that you knew for a fact they were gonna, stay alive through whatever happened in the gaming world and markets, and they were always gonna have their servers up. There were smaller awesome games that you actually were afraid, and it happened actually. I think to a couple, I don't remember the titles, that they just went out of business.
I mean, it happens all.
And the servers were gone, and you lost that game. You can never play it.
And it's like
offline version. That's it.
I feel like that's something we inherently accept as gamers with a multiplayer game. Like, okay, so I'm starting an MMO. One day, this MMO just might not exist. I just might not have this ever again because this company might go under. But to think of, like, imagine if you were a little kid on your Super Nintendo and you're playing Turtles in Time or something like that, right? And they're like, one day, if we go out of business, this cartridge is gonna explode.
Yeah, literally, there's zero difference.
Yeah. Something going on in your house, you look like you're...
No, I'm just looking at myself in the mirror.
Oh, hot.
Like, just adjusting my headphones.
And for
$300 headphones.
And I know it's not the same thing, but this like anti-cheat thing makes me feel like how I felt during that DRM thing, where it's like you're just taking more away from your consumers to try to get more of a profit.
For sure, it's just unnecessary.
And
like I don't see the point. Like, why don't they say?
Well, you don't see the point from a consumer perspective, but can you see the point from, Big Daddy corporate?
Well, let's take a look at. Is this their own article about why they're making this?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I didn't go that far. You want to send me the link?
It's. I just clicked on in the first paragraph. One of the red links. The second one.
De novo anti-cheat?
Yes.
Please don't be porn. Okay. Over the last 3 years, Erdetto's de novo team have been building a multiplayer anti-cheat solution. Then why was it installed into single player? 2 years ago, de novo kicked off an early access program where AAA publishers and studios were invited to contribute today's most popular multiplayer titles as anti-cheat test platforms. After countless hours and millions of gameplay sessions, we're excited to announce the launch of de novo anti-cheat. It goes live today, May 14, 2020, to protect the battle mode multiplayer of Doom Eternal on PC. So I had read that this was affecting the solo game as well. Our anti-cheat solution doesn't have annoying tray icons or splash screens, blah, blah, blah. Starting and stopping, monitoring.
But the thing is that the multiplayer version, I don't think you're head-to-head, are you? I think you just go through the game.
Well, no, there is a multiplayer version that is like totally non-competitive. It's not asynchronous. What's the word? It's like one of you plays the Doomslayer and two other players play demons.
Oh, okay.
What do they call that?
Asymmetric.
Asymmetric, yes, asymmetric.
Couple of cool games like that. They kind of stopped making them,
The,
sadly.
well, I guess like the popular one. No, a big one just came out. The Predator game, Predator Hunting Grounds.
Oh, I didn't even know.
You don't know about that game, dude?
No.
It looks pretty neat. It's like 4 players play as a fire team, and they have a bunch of different objectives that they have to do. And one player plays the Predator, and he's just like stalking around trying to murder as many people as he can.
Okay.
And like if they finish all of their objectives, they win. If they kill the Predator, they win. If the Predator kills all of them, he wins.
There was a really awesome one that I really liked. I don't know why it didn't take off. Do you remember
Evolution or something like that?
Evolution?
Evolution.
Yeah. That was so cool.
I tried playing it with you one time, and I could not get into it.
I loved it. Like there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. It required so much cooperation. It was really cool. It sucks that they killed it. The other one, the scary one that I have, my Dead by Daylight.
Oh, hold on. This was the other part of. I'm sorry. This was the other part
go
of the controversy on this one. You're giving a lot of access to your PC to this thing because kernel mode drivers hang out on the core of your operating system. There are concerns that this represents a major security risk if someone was to find a vulnerability in it, netting themselves control over the most basic functions of your PC.
Yeah. That's just a bad way to go.
I don't know.
Don't make it kernel mode. Why do you want to tap into that?
Yeah, they want to get right into your guts. They want to get it. They want to get up in there.
You're putting that finger right in there.
And it looks like Riot has done something as well. Riot's been facing a similar backlash for its own kernel mode anti-cheat software in Valorant. I understand it more for Valorant, not that it's not the kernel mode part, but just the fact that it exists because this is a competitive online game that will undoubtedly be played for money in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Because it's just a clone of Counter-Strike, to be honest with you.
But I really think that they will put something like this in all of their games going forward, and eventually you're going to see a mod shop.
I believe you.
A mod shop and no third party unapproved modding.
Like community modding.
Yeah, no community modding.
Yeah, most likely. I agree.
Because they need that money.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get that money.
Even though they're pretty loaded.
All right, let's get on to the next one here. So. At first, I thought this was a happier story than it actually is, but I mean, it's still good. But I feel like it could be. I feel like it could be better because I'm just so anti-corporate asshole.
It can't be better. I mean, some of it is hilarious.
So this story,
companies competing with each other, trying to one up each other's donations. But go ahead.
So this story is from GamesIndustry.biz, written by the whole crew. It seems like. Yes, games industry staff. Games industry rallies in fight against COVID-19. So here's a bunch of different examples of gaming companies, gaming personalities, etc., raising money or outright donating money, which I think they should just be doing, for COVID-19.
Yeah, one of them is pretty bad.
And which was the one that we hated? It was EA. It was EA, right?
EA,
so this is my favorite one.
It would be EA, right? EA would try to do something cool, but when you actually look into it, they're just still being fucking shitty and stingy, basically.
So EA, more money than God. They sell your CODs. They've got your Apex Legends. They're pulling so much goddamn money. They had that Star Wars game this past year that sold incredibly well. All right.
Oh, man.
So EA, Electronic Arts, will match fund up to $2 million worth of employee donations.
Employee donations.
Yeah.
Way to put the pressure on your employees.
Yeah.
I bet you they actually go around asking them too, like emailing them, "Hey, no pressure, but have you considered making a donation?"
So I mean, of course they could. The employees could write that off, right? And that's cool. But why isn't EA just donating to begin with? Like, why aren't they being like, "Yo, we're putting up $1 million, and on top of that, we'll match up to $2 million of what our employees." Donate. What? Fuck.
No. Still, like, do the 2 million, but say we're putting 1 million straight up. 1 million goes in, and they will match up to 1 million of employee donation. At least you've done a solid 1 million. This is what if nobody donates?
I mean,
What
like,
if we only donate 200,000?
yeah.
I mean, then again, like we were making a point that donations are donations. $20, $200,000, $20 million. That's still money that wasn't there, and it's going to go to someone who needs that help. And thank God that for whatever reason, even as like a campaign ad, people, or I mean, ad campaigns.
Yeah.
These companies are still doing it. Still doing good in the world.
Yeah.
No matter the benefits for them in it, what's in it for them.
So I'm just saying, I don't have access to to EA's books, but I imagine that they can spare
They are swimming in
a million.
more.
What was there was one you liked down here.
The one, yeah, and on the flip side of this, right?
Oh, Humble
Take a look
Bundle.
at a company like, or even better, like the one that I think is the most amazing is what PlayStation is doing, because PlayStation
PlayStation. Is it under Sony or PlayStation? I can't remember. It's under Sony.
I think alphabetical, actually. Go all the way down.
Okay, I got it. Sony has announced a $10 million fund.
10 million fund
to support indie devs under financial strain during COVID.
Indie devs.
I mean, it's still helping the industry. It's not going to PPE or hospitals or whatever, but this does help take the burden off a lot of people.
But you say it's still not going to those funds, but two paragraphs down, also establish $100 million fund for
there it is.
COVID-19 relief across 3 distinct areas of charities, organizations fighting the virus, and educators.
So they're putting
educators.
So they're putting 10 million back into their own industry and 100 million into the world at large.
Exactly.
And EA.
And then EA's like, well, we'll wait to see what our employees do.
I can't even. Is
Epic
on
They're
here?
not match all of it either. They're not saying any employee donation will match it.
Yo, how is Epic not on here?
Epic is not?
No, they're not up here.
And Hi-Rez is? Are you kidding me?
Does Epic have a parent company?
No, there's no way. Epic is Epic. There's no way.
Epic Games headquarter, Epic parent company, Epic Games.
This is going on the internet, but I'm gonna say I'm 100% sure that Epic is Epic.
Headquarter. I'm just gonna parent. Yeah, I don't see anything about a parent company here.
I mean, the company was founded by Tim Sweeney.
Yeah, well, we know that one.
Potomac Computer Systems in '91, but I think, ever since a year later, '92, it became Epic Mega Games.
Okay, well, they're not on here, which is confusing to me.
All right.
The one that I wanted to point out, this is the only one I donated to, because I love Games Done Quick, even though I could never be a.
GDQ.
So did you watch any of this GDQ, the COVID relief one?
No,
it was good. They good.
Before.
They had lots of technical difficulties, of course, because it was all stream based. It was all going through OBS. Games Done Quick has concluded a special weekend digital speedrunning marathon charity event in which it raised over $400,000 for direct relief, and it was just a weekend one, and it wasn't even one of their live events. I mean, I know their live events are pulling in like 3 million now. The last two, I think, did 3 million, which is they're one of my favorite entities in gaming. I love Games Done Quick. I feel like I probably would not get along with any speedrunners, though. They seem too anal retentive. I don't think I could deal with them in real life. But
you got to be a little special to
yeah, I know. You got to have some quirky shit.
I still appreciate that usually you have the person that does commentary.
Yes.
Interacts with them a little bit, or is a couch of friends, or.
But I got to tell you, I fucking love watching stream. You know what, Pooh Bear? I could probably have a drink with Pooh Bear. Do you know that guy, Grand Pooh Bear?
Pooh Bear.
He's Super Mario stuff. I think Super Mario 3 is like his big thing. But I love that whole organization. I watch as much of it as I can. I always donate to it, no matter what it is. They could be doing like a fundraiser to give like butt plugs to the porn community, and I would send them $20. You know,
like send me a demo.
Yeah, they are great whenever they come. I mean, they won't be able to do their stuff this year, but Hopefully they'll do more online stuff.
Another one, noteworthy one was you kind of mentioned it,
Humble
Humble
Bundle.
Bundle.
Yeah, I'll read this one.
Very, very respectful.
You want to read this one?
Respectful.
Actually, I'm looking at it right now.
Humble Bundle has raised over 6.5. Has already done this. It's not even a promise. Has already raised over 6.5 million in support of charities and organizations responding to the coronavirus pandemic. With over 40 games plus digital and audio books, the bundle was purchased more than 200,000 times, with 100% of the proceeds donated to COVID-19 relief
That's
effort.
some good shit. 100% going to it. Yeah.
Well done, indie community.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, obviously, Humble Bundle, I don't think that they have the money to just be like, here's $6 million. So I understand that they would have to raise that money and just like.
But still, they're parting
Yeah.
with the money, that 100% of the proceeds. That's very respectable.
Yeah.
Because gamers, let's be honest, 80% of gamers are poor. They only have enough money to buy their own games. That's it.
And I feel like it's even less than
$2 donation.
Like, why do you think free to play games are the biggest thing in the world?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What a large percentage of gamers are children. They
Yeah.
don't even have money. And
Yeah.
then you have poor people who the only thing they look forward to is spending 50, 60, 40 bucks in a game. So
Well, a huge
poorly.
demo is us. It's like 30 to 40 is a huge demo for gaming these years. But those I mean at this time, but those are the guys who are spending money. Yeah, good on the indie community.
And there are a few
Nice try, corporate community, with the exception of Sony.
Yeah, it's freaking EA. Come on, man. And of course, Blizzard. They donated $2 million. Bethesda.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Tried a little bit.
Where's
Hi-Rez.
Activision?
Hi-Rez. I was surprised to see Hi-Rez on the list, but then again, Hi-Rez doesn't really directly donate any money. They did, however, provide 4,800 meals to local hospitals.
Yeah, that's not nothing. That's not nothing at all.
Yeah, plus they have catering services for their employees on Tuesdays and Thursdays most weeks. Which
Sounds like a great place.
Hey, man,
let's do a Glassdoor review for them right now. Pretend that we work there.
I hate Hi-Rez. Just let that be known. Hi-Rez, everything about them, they make shit games.
I don't know who this is. Who is Hi-Rez? What do they make?
Hi-Rez, do you know Smite?
Oh yes. I hated that game. You played that game for like a year.
No, I didn't for a year.
You
like
always were trying to get me. You were trying.
It was because of my buddy. Plus, I mean, there were a couple of characters in it that were pretty cool. Okay. It was cool. But I wasn't. I was never really into the MOBA formula.
Yeah.
And that was like a third person camera from behind your head.
Yeah. I don't like that either. Amazon just released one this week called Crucible, I think.
Which I'm a little interested in.
But it's that style. I was like, this just looks like Smite 2020 when I was looking at it, And I was
they
like,
also had the other Overwatch straight up clone where you have like characters identical to Hanzo, even holding his freaking bow the same way. It's called.
I remember that. Isn't it Battle something? Battle Song or
Paladins?
Paladins. Yes, I remember Paladins. I remember Paladins. The one day I saw a 30-minute stream of it on IGN, and I was like, "This is just bad." It's bad.
Overwatch.
Bad over the shoulder. Is it? It's over the shoulder though, right?
No, it's first person.
Okay, I can't.
But when you mount up and stuff, I think it changes the camera angle. But it has. I'll give it some credit. It does have unique mechanics in it. You upgrade your abilities, you upgrade your gear. But I mean, some of the characters are unique, but a lot of them, like you have a Reinhardt, you have a Genji, you have a Hanzo.
I remember seeing the Reinhardt for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks Hi-Rez for doing something. I guess at least if you can't make good games, at least you can feed people.
Yeah. And there were a couple of individuals like we saw on the list, like
Jacksepticeye raised some serious cash.
That, PewDiePie is not on here, but I do think that he is raising money for charity.
Pootie Poo.
Yeah.
These
PewDiePie.
This site GamesIndustry.biz are pretty goddamn good. These guys are very good reporters, so I'm surprised it wouldn't be on here.
I'm sure he's done charity streams. COVID.
Switching back to the one. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure he did. I wonder why they would pick Jack over him though. Maybe they got beef.
Yeah, apparently he did a water charity.
What the fuck is a water charity? All right, I'm done with this. I'm moving on to the last little story here.
Hold on.
What?
This is
What?
actually
What?
cool. He raised $446,000. 100% of everything we raise will directly fund water projects around the world, like in Africa and places. And this is during COVID, so yeah, not bad. But I guess, for somebody like him, it's almost expected. I don't think anybody's gonna be like, "Oh, look what he did."
I just sent you something in the chat. So this is going to be the last news item.
Yes.
So this fella here, I didn't know that there was a separate mocap actor, I guess, for the battle sections of God of War. I thought it was just whatever his name is, Michael something. I always forget his name. The dude that played the Jafar, not Jafar, the Jaffa on Stargate SG-1. So this fella, Shad Gaspard, died a little too young. This was the mocap actor for Kratos in God of War, and I guess his son. Well, we can read it here.
Sorry about the motorcycle.
It's okay. You can't. It's not your motorcycle. Former WWE star Shad Gaspard has passed away. His body was discovered around 1:30 a.m. on Venice Beach this morning. So I guess he and his son were on the beach, and his kid got pulled in by the riptide, and he went to go save him. And he got to him, and I believe the Coast Guard or somebody came to save them, but they could only take one at a time, right? Wasn't that the story?
Yeah. They couldn't do anything about him.
Yeah, so he said, "Take my boy and come back for me." And
yeah, he says, "Save my son."
Yeah, the kid gets saved, and then he gets hit by a massive wave or gets pulled by the current, and this fella died. And it was pretty. I mean, I didn't know him I didn't know about his WWE stuff. I only know about him basically bringing Kratos to life, and I love that game, and he was awesome in it as a physical performance. He didn't do a vocal performance. You haven't played that one, right? Because you're not in the PlayStation ecosystem right now.
I've seen it though. That's not a game that I've seen so much of.
And it's just it's a bummer. It's good, a good addition to the community gone. And somebody said online, like, well, he did what Kratos wanted to do. He saved the boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's really sad.
I don't know. I don't know how.
Gave me goosebumps.
I don't know how much else to say about it, but that sucks.
That was apparently not his only stunt job either. He did. He was Bane in Batman: The Enemy Within. Motion capture work, obviously, in God of War. Voice and performance actor. What else did he do?
And I guess he was part of a tag team act for WWE.
Yeah. Sad.
Yeah. So
a good guy too.
Just thought we would mention that one real quick. I don't know why, because it's the strangest story, I feel like, of the week in gaming.
Yeah, we got to cover the real side of what happens in the world of gaming too.
So, what you playing?
I can't believe we're like 55 minutes in already.
48. 48 minutes
48,
in.
yeah.
Yep.
Almost 50. So, not a surprise to you.
Monster Train. You're playing Monster Train.
Came out,
yeah.
And I've sunk in about 17 hours into it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great.
Have you unlocked all the factions yet?
I haven't unlocked the last one.
Okay, so you got
it requires, I think, you need to slay a certain number of characters or monsters.
So is the Umbra the last one you got?
The Umbra is the second to last one.
Okay.
Yes. And they're really funky. I like the Umbra, actually.
Yeah, the morsels. Yeah, it looks fun.
And I don't want to plug in other channels or YouTubers. Whatever.
Northern Lion.
Northern Lion's fine. He's an ally.
We both love Northern Lion.
Yeah.
Also, someone I think might be a pain in real life, but I love his channel. I absolutely love his channel.
He's gonna become a father soon.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hey, well, I also learned about Monster Train because of Northern Lion. Yeah.
But the painful thing is, it took him so long to get a win, and it actually made me think maybe it's a difficult game. But when I started playing it, I had 2 wins in my first 3 or 4
He's not a
runs.
details guy, man. You know
He's
that.
not.
He
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 misses
did he
everything.
didn't realize that there was that capacity mechanic. He totally skipped at the
Yeah, and
capacity mechanic.
even right now, he's playing the Umbra so wrong. Like,
Yo,
God.
don't let him hear this. He's getting so much fucking heat for this shit. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. You wouldn't even know about this fucking game if it wasn't for him. So
Yeah,
relax.
that's true. That's true.
What is
But
he
the system.
what is he doing wrong with the Umbra? Should he be putting the morsels up
Okay,
front?
where he puts the morsels, when like the value, what should we call it? There's an expression that I can't remember right now. But basically, like what he gets out of them, because sometimes he just puts one behind, and all the thing does is provide an energy
Yeah.
that turn that he's not going to use on anything, but
Oh,
he
does
sees at the same time
the
that it,
energy doesn't carry, huh?
no, unless you have the artifact that says your energy gets carried over.
Oh, that's
But even
right.
worse is like, all right, you created an energy, fine,
Mm.
but your front unit is dying. But if you had put that morsel in front of him, that would
Yeah.
have like completely sponged the whole damage up.
Yeah.
Just like the way he's learning though. He's before, like in his earlier
Yeah,
episodes,
I've seen
he was
him win
saving his
like
money all the time. He wasn't looking at upgrades the way he should have.
I feel like
Now
I've seen
he's
him win
spending
like
all
3
his
in a
money.
row.
Yeah, because he's, I mean, all the community feedback.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
well, he was getting mad about it, and
Yeah.
it would drive me crazy too if I was popular and so like the same comment 1,000 times. I'd go fucking nuts.
Yeah, plus, I mean, they basically want to turn you into a robot and play
Yeah,
the
I
game
know.
the way they want
You
you to
must
play it.
min
So,
max the game. There must be not a single
oh
resource that
god,
is.
min
Yeah.
maxers.
Oh god, they're so
Min
annoying.
maxers in YouTube comments are,
Oh
I can
god.
tolerate them more than
Go
min
do some
maxers on
go do some
stream,
calculus, you fucking nerd.
because seriously, at least like on YouTube, it's after the fact. You've already played the game that you wanted to. You made the content you wanted to.
Yeah.
Whatever. They leave the comments. Maybe you'll take something away from it. Maybe we'll just say fuck you and move on.
Yeah.
But the min maxes on streams, oh god, biggest pet peeve.
Oh god. Yeah, backseaters.
Backseat gamers,
Yeah.
and then they get nasty, and you're like, dude,
Yeah.
it's a video.
You need to find some more value in your life.
Plus, why are you still sitting here fuming about the way I'm playing when you could just leave?
Yeah, you could just go play it. You know what I mean?
What
I've been watching this guy Maximilian dude that like same kind of stuff happens to him, and he's like been getting heated at chat recently because they're like, why don't you play this thing? Why don't you do it this way? Why don't I wish there was. I wonder if there's like a bot you could get that like just filters out anyone that says why don't you or you should. Just like X that out on the view on no on the streamer side so he just never sees that. Well, anyway, how do you feel about it?
Why don't you tell me how you like this game?
Yeah.
Like, oh, never saw the comments. Sorry.
How do you feel about this about Monster Train? And you want to give one? I know we talked about it last week, but you want to give like the elevator pitch for it?
Yeah. It's a game where it has a very strong tower defense element in the gameplay. It's very Slay the Spire inspired sort of game where you have layers in like your levels are layers.
So all right, so I mean, if you were tagging this on Steam. If you're tagging this on Steam, it would say roguelite, deck builder, tower defense.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Keep going.
Enemies coming in waves. If they make it, they stick around on every floor of the level for one turn. Once they attack, they move up to the next one. And if you don't kill them by the end of like the fourth floor, you have 3 floors, and the fourth floor is your pyre, which is like your HP.
Yep.
They'll reach the pyre, they'll attack it. If your pyre HP reaches 0, it's game over.
The pyre does defend itself though, and it's very very powerful too.
There are artifacts you can pick up that make it stronger. There are periodic, like you have major boss fights that they actually give you a couple of pyre specific sort of power ups that are the same every time. It's either 1 extra energy per turn, 1 extra capacity on all your levels, because all your units have capacity. So there are little pips that shows how many. Every creature you play has capacity on it, and every floor that levels show how many creatures you can put in there, basically. So increasing capacity helps out. And the last one is having extra draw every turn.
Yep.
But
And you play as the like legions of hell. Hell has been frozen over by
you're the bad guys.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hell has been frozen over by legions of like angels, and you're trying to thaw out hell because they've frozen all the different circles of hell. And it's like
down.
oh man, I totally froze. It's like very much based on that Dante's Inferno and Snowpiercer.
Yes, I don't know that one.
Snowpiercer is a film by the guy who did Parasite about like this train in a frozen world that just constantly circles the globe like the last vestiges of humanity are on the train.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad.
On a spaceship going through space or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, your creatures have slots where you can insert power-ups from shops and places. You come across points of interest. You have 2 paths in every circle or every major level that you go down through. It's fun. I do see myself getting bored with it in a while. I don't think it's like endless fun. Things do get a little samey. I wish that there was more variety to the upgrades in the upgrade shops.
Here's a question that I don't know the answer to. Is it in early access?
No.
Okay, so they consider it a finished product.
I am almost 100% sure.
Okay.
Let's see. But yeah, I just wish that there was more variety to some things. You keep seeing the same. There's another thing. I
noticed
that locked content that you have to like through progress.
Yeah.
But if it's so much, like I want to see all the cards. Like just give me all the cards. Why do you want to keep it behind?
No, I'm fine with that. You need something to strive for.
Gated content to well yes, but there's an update for it. I didn't even know.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have not purchased it yet, though. It's the only game I think about purchasing every day.
You haven't gotten it yet?
I have not gotten it yet. It's on my wish list. I see that it's still 20% off.
Overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. 1,670 reviews for it.
Yep.
And it is not in early access. And what is, out of curiosity, what is this update? Let's see what they've added. It does not say.
Yeah, it's probably bug fixes.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything.
So you would say that you do recommend it then?
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing is, you don't have to have endless hours of fun with a game for you to say that's excellent and worth playing. Some games are experience based. Some games are like emotional journey of some sort, and some games you're gonna sink in 50, 60, 70 hours into it, and you're gonna love every second of it, and then you're good. That's it. You got it.
So I mean,
what about you? What are you playing?
I did not play too much new this week. So a week or so ago, Apex Legends came out with a new, I guess it must have been 2 weeks ago now. Apex Legends came out with its new season.
Does that mean a new hero as well?
New hero named Loba, and she is thick.
Loba.
So Loba,
Mr. Loba.
in the lore, her parents were killed by another member of the Apex Legends crew. And after, it's like a very Batman-esque scene, and she becomes like a cat burglar. And her abilities are, her passive is called Eye for Quality, I think, and she can see purple and gold items through walls up to like
Eye for Quality.
Yeah, like 100 meters away. And
nearby epic and legendary loot can be seen through walls. The range is the same as the black market boutique. I don't know what that is.
I'll tell you about that in a moment. And then her tactical is portable jump drive, I think it's called.
Burglar's best friend. Teleport to hard to reach places or escape trouble quickly by throwing your jump drive bracelets.
Yeah, so she's got
what was the other guy's name?
Pathfinder.
know the junkie guy who threw like a jump pad.
Oh, well, no. So he throws a jump pad down, and then you have to run across it. She takes off this little bracelet, throws it. She's Sombra. She takes off the bracelet, she throws it somewhere, and wherever it lands, she teleports there. But what's kind of cool is that you can wait for it to do the whole arc, or you can click, and it'll drop like a rock and hit the ground wherever you clicked over, and then you'll land where you clicked.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a good escape. It's not as good of an engage because when you land, she puts the bracelet back on, and it takes like a second and a half for you to regain combat controls.
From that, from the animation, basically.
Yeah, it's definitely a better escape. But if you can use it to get high ground over somebody where they can't really get at you, you could use it as an engage. And then her ultimate is called Black Market Boutique. She takes her staff, she sticks it into the ground, it shoots out this radius of like 100 meters maybe, something like that, maybe a little bit further, and any item that's in that radius, including if it's in a bin, you and your squad mates can each choose 2 items to take from it. So it's just like this quick way to loot an area. It's very good if you're in a firefight and pinned down and some people have already been killed and their boxes are sitting there. You can use it to loot their boxes from afar. So if you like really need a shield battery or something like that, but you're pinned down and you can't go out and get to the boxes. Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
It's super cool. She's very cool, and they made her sexy as fuck. And
she's pretty.
She's definitely a very fan servicey kind of character. Yeah. And she's got some good elements from other, like the teleport is totally Sombra. The Black Market Boutique is something new. I don't that's an interesting idea. I've never even considered something like that.
So right now, since the initial release, Crypto, Octane, Revenant, and now Loba. These are the new ones. Actually getting their roster pretty quickly.
And then also Watson was one of the original. She was the first new one. Was Watson, right?
Why is Watson on this list?
So yeah, that's the Watson was the first new. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Watson was the first new one, and then Crypto, and then Revenant, and then Loba. Right? Is there anyone I'm missing?
Did they seriously forget about their own character here?
Watson was not a launch character.
So take a look at this. You can scroll to the bottom of the screen and click load more and tell me if you see Watson or if I'm just somehow blind.
Load more. Bang, Blood, Caustic, Crypto, Gibraltar, Lifeline, Mirage, Octane, Pathfinder, Revenant. Where's Watson? Yeah, they can't.
Is she still in the game?
Yeah. I definitely played with. I didn't play as her yesterday, but I played with and against her yesterday.
What a fluke.
So what they've added also this season is a whole PvE lore thing. So every day when you play, you can get a treasure pack randomly from a canister, right? You only have one per day, and then once a week they release a PvE mission that can be played 1 to 3 players. And you need to use those treasure packs as admission to them. And they've only released one so far because they want you to come back every week to like do the missions, and they want you to come back every day to get the treasure packs.
Of course.
And so once a week you can engage in one of these PvE missions. I've only done one so far. That it's this story where Loba is teaming up with everybody else and unearthing these artifacts that will do something. Don't know what they'll do, but on top of the story elements that they give you, you also get cosmetics that go with each mission you complete.
Interesting.
So like
one of the things about the game was like it was so cumbersome to get any cosmetics for any of your characters. Like it took forever.
They made it they made it a little cleaner. Now it's like depending on what level you are, it's either every 1 level, every 2 levels, or every 3 levels you get a loot box.
It was such a drag. You needed so many points.
Oh, you still do. You still do. You need 1,200 of the crafting materials to make a legendary anything. But when you do the battle pass, you get a shitload of crafting materials.
True.
And they also give you epic and legendary loot boxes and stuff. And they also, not that I'll ever get an heirloom because I'm not going to spend $500 in the game, but you know what the heirlooms are? It's like Wraith gets her knife that you can use for. They're
Yeah.
basically melee equipables that are only cosmetic. So now they've made it so that instead of like opening a specific heirloom, you get heirloom crystals. So then you can just create whichever heirloom you want.
Oh, cool.
And if I ever get them, I'm gonna wait for whatever Mirage gets, because at this point Mirage is basically my main.
Main.
Yeah, and I hope it's a pork chop. I really hope it's a pork chop.
It's funny because you used to make fun of me for playing Mirage.
Dude,
he's shitty. But what's changed about him? Nothing.
Yeah, they changed a lot about him, buddy. So yeah, I'll tell you. So when you
on camera, if I keep reaching down, sorry guys, I'm not doing anything weird.
He's not Mersterberg. When he all right, so when Mirage sends up
yesterday, and my legs are covered in mosquito bites. That's all. Okay. Go on.
When Mirage sends out his clone, you can then hit a secondary button, and he will mirror every action that you do.
No way.
Yes. And then his ultimate is no longer him disappearing with a ring of clones standing still. It's now a ring of clones appear that all do what you do.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's really good. And now
just stand still. So what if you shoot, do they actually shoot bullets?
No, they don't shoot bullets. They don't shoot bullets. So you got to try to get into a position where it's like, huh?
But you can still scare away people. Like, there's so many tactics.
Well, it's not even that. It's they get so confused, they just start shooting every single clone. So you get yourself into a position where they're like, oh, who is he? And then you just start firing. And then the last thing is they buffed his passive. Remember his passive before is when he got knocked, he would go invisible?
Yes.
He still has that. But also, now when he reses someone, he goes invisible, and the person he's picking up goes invisible. And it's really good. And when he goes to a respawn beacon, he goes invisible.
What?
Yeah. When he respawns someone with a respawn beacon, he goes invisible.
Wow.
And his ultimate takes about 30 seconds to charge.
These are insane buffs.
They just did it. I think they're probably gonna nerf it a little bit. I think they'll keep all the same abilities, but I think they'll change the numbers associated with them. In terms of like cooldown, but he is so fun now. He is so fun. I love him.
I put this game installed on my computer, so
yeah.
Maybe I should play it again.
You should take a look at Mirage now because he is really good.
As far as performance,
what's that?
Did they optimize the performance anymore?
I mean, I don't have performance problems unless I stream.
But it's fine, right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm normally hitting about 140 frames.
That's awesome.
On like 1080.
That's awesome.
I'm not doing 1440, but or whatever it's
We shall play that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm playing. That's what you're playing.
Yeah. Do you have anything you're waiting for right now to come out? Looking forward to?
Last of Us Part 2.
Aside from that.
No. Is there something I should be looking forward to?
No, I was just wondering.
Yeah, Last of Us Part 2.
Is there any titles specifically?
Last of Us Part 2, Cyberpunk 2077. What I'm really waiting for is E3 season. I know it doesn't exist, but like I'm waiting to hear my announcements. Like I want to know what Nintendo's doing. Like where's Metroid Prime 4? Where's Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever they're going to call it? I'm really waiting for the Sony press conference. I want to hear about the new Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever the hell they're going to call that. I want to see something about a Marvel Spider-Man 2. I'm more looking forward to the news cycle than I am actual games right now because we're at the end of the generation, you know?
Yeah.
You?
Well, a couple of just random titles.
You and your indies.
You know me. But there's obviously Cyberpunk has potential to be great.
Yeah.
There's I think Baldur's Gate's coming out.
Baldur's Gate. My roommate Jay is a big D&D fan, and he is anxiously awaiting that. When it comes out, I'll probably have him come on the podcast.
I really do like really pure and classic D&D titles that stick to the formula.
Yeah.
And you don't have to deal with the mess of having, players or paper and books and stuff like that.
Oh, I mean, are you sure? That shit's a lot of fun. I only okay.
But at the same time, I really do appreciate just the convenience of having it as like a PC game.
Yeah. So did you pick up Divinity then? Divinity Original Sin 2?
No.
Everyone says that's like the closest you can get.
Really?
Yeah, okay. Divinity Original Sin 2. I think it might be on sale actually right now.
Really? Let's see.
I think Jay told me he got it for like $22 or something like that on Steam.
Oh wait, I played the first one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Number 2 is supposed to be like the gold standard.
Guess who I played the first one with?
Who?
Mr.
James Caslin, Rothcast.
No. Who was the guy that we played? We had a
that guy. It doesn't matter. Forget about it.
Something Knight. I don't remember his name.
Silicon Knight or something, or I just removed him from my YouTube box.
I have a full playthrough of Divinity.
Yeah.
Original Sin on my channel. Played it. I guess I somehow blocked that.
Wow, well, I wonder why. All right. I think that's it for this week, right?
Yeah, that's it. That was actually a successful re-recording.
Re-recording, yeah. Instead of this being an hour and 10 minutes like it should have been, it was an hour and 40 minutes. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right, man. You got any housekeeping you want to do or anything?
Honestly, not really.
You gonna start making videos or streaming or anything?
I've thought about recording a little bit of Monster Train, but I don't know. It's just my issue is needing to re-download Photoshop and remember how to use it.
Why don't you just stream it then? If you're gonna play it, why don't you just stream it?
Yeah, I mean, I already have OBS, and you don't really need to set up much for OBS.
Yeah,
I could easily do it, but I don't know. I just don't want to have any sort of community expectations of when are you going to stream, how long are you going to stream. Just I don't know. Maybe.
Just I mean, if you don't want to schedule, just ignore those people. I don't know.
Yeah, just play whenever I want to play and content. But at the same time, what's going to come out of it if I put that time into it? If I'm not going to be serious about it, might as well be a little serious. That's why I prefer making YouTube stuff, because I can spread out the content, release it through weeks.
Yeah.
Like have a weekend of sitting down playing a game for like 7 hours straight, and then just uploading half-hour segments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'd rather go back to YouTube, but at the same time, there's so many things that I need to set up on this computer that I used to have on my laptop that I use for the gaming recording.
Yeah.
Real life, I don't know.
I hear you. I'm gonna probably keep testing my stream and having problems with it, and hopefully in a couple weeks I'll have a 2 PC stream set up and we'll actually have some good shit. That's all.
Hardware-wise, I'm pretty happy. I don't think I need a better webcam for what I do. I don't think I need a better microphone right now. My headphones are really good headphones.
Your cam looks way better than mine right now.
My PC, you know how good it is.
Yeah, it's good. I gave it to you. Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's gonna do it for this week. Thanks for listening. If you listened.
Thank you very much for joining us again. It was a pleasure, Nick.
And
2 times in a row.
Yeah. All right. All right. Enough. Well,
episode 3.
Oh Jesus. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.